So if you know me, you know I'm kind of weird about my fishing rods. I'm really not a big fan of throwing them in the truck bed. So whenever we travel, I end up putting them in the cab, just down the center, and I have like 5 rods in the truck. Got my wife, we got 2 kids and a dog. I kind of need a better solution for traveling with the rods. So I think I got an idea. So these guys just showed up. I found these on Amazon. Let's go ahead and open them up. And they are rod tubes that mount. They should mount onto a tube itself. So any sort of like tube on your boat, you should be able to mount these tubes. My idea is to get the rods out of the truck bed. I'm going to mount these onto a cargo bar and just span the truck bed with them, and then just stick the rods out over the top of the kayak. And then I'll put another cargo bar across the back of the truck bed just to rest the rods on, and then I'll just bungee everything down. It'll make more sense once I've got it all together. So I'll go ahead and get one of these open and see what they look like. I'm not even sure they're going to be big enough to stick to a cargo bar. This is going to be less of a how-to and more of a experimenting with me, because I don't know if it's going to work. I found these guys on Amazon, and I'll just put the link in the description. They're pretty thin plastic. They weren't very much. I think they're like 15 bucks for 2 or something, or 13 for 2. So it mounts down onto a bar, and then the rod holder just mounts to it. So that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping I could mount it on top of the bar and then have the reel hanging down below, but it looks like it only can mount on one side. So I'm going to have to probably hang them below, and hopefully the cargo bar sits high enough up it's over the kayak. Or I guess I can do it like that and put the reels upside down, but we'll see. I got 6 of them total. Got some cargo bars we use for work, so I'm gonna run to our warehouse and go snag a couple. We don't use them often, they've been sitting there forever, so I'm gonna borrow them for this, for fishing. Let's see where they're at. There we go. Steal a couple of these guys. Let's see what we got. Alright, so this is the cargo bar or spreader bar, and you can also get these on Amazon. I've had these for a little while now. We use them at work. But if you're not aware how these work, typically they're used to keep cargo from moving forward or back in like a semi-trailer or like a truck bed. So you just pin it to one side of the truck bed, and then you just expand the other side, and it just pumps out, and it'll just push against both sides of the truck bed. At work we use them when we build the showers. We'll put the big ceramic shower panels up and then glue them, and then we'll just use these to brace outward so the panels don't fall in. But I think I've got like 40 of these at the warehouse, so I'm gonna borrow 2. So I've got this guy already set to the truck bed with, and I'll go ahead and just throw the rod holders on it to start with. I gotta put them together, and then I'm thinking I'm just gonna space them all to the passenger side. So I'm gonna bias them that way. So I'll probably go from this joint here over that way. That way I can use this side of the truck bed for the coolers and anything I've got that's taller that this would interfere with. I kind of want all the rod holders on this half of the truck. All right, let's see how these go together. So you've got the piece that actually hooks to the rod holder. You've got these little like rubber bushings or whatever you want to call them. I'm sure they keep it from spinning on the bar so much. They came with these 2 stainless, just Phillips head screws that go in there. And then this one stainless machine screw is going to go through there into this threaded piece right here. Get all my rod holders opened up. All right, everything's opened up, so let's go ahead and start putting this thing together. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these parts onto the cargo bar, and then I'll put these on afterwards. Just gonna get them started. I'm just gonna snug them up for now so they don't fall off. And then once I figure out how I want to space them all, I'll actually tighten them down all the way. I think what drives my wife the most crazy with the rods in the truck is when you're hitting the bumps and the rods are tapping on the windshield. It's just clicking the whole way down the highway. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these on. Probably just like this one, so I can see how much space I've got. If it'll clear the kayak, I'm going to put these facing down. Cool, so that's the idea right there. Let's go ahead and put it in the back of the truck, space it, and see how high it's gonna be. I think that's gonna be too low. All right, well, let's go ahead and get the kayak loaded up. So I'm gonna have to flip them upside down. I'll set the last one there. Probably put this last one here, and then I'll just center these all in between those two. These are gonna be my two ends. So I'm gonna work on getting these centered in between them. Yeah, I'll go right around 6 5/8. That'll be, yeah, 6 5/8 actually laid out pretty well. This should all be pretty flat with each other now. Go ahead and tighten them down with the screwdriver. I don't want to go too crazy because I don't want to break them. Let's go ahead and stick these guys on. There we go, we got 6 rod holders all mounted up to that cargo bar. Cool. Let's put some rods in there. I think that's gonna work pretty well. I think I'm gonna put a piece of just foam around this, and then I'll just strap them right down to that cargo bar. All right, I'll get it finished up. All right, I pulled the kayak out of the truck and ran over to Ace Hardware. I'm gonna wrap the further back cargo bar just in this foam. But I'm just gonna cut it and put it on this section of the cargo bar. Yeah, so I'll get this on this cargo bar, get everything in the truck, see how it looks, and then next week we're gonna be heading out to the lake again, so I'll get to test it. I'm just gonna cut it like right there. Cut it with a pocket knife. Stuff's soft enough, you don't really need the razor blade or anything. Knife works just fine. Just wrap it around there. It looks like it'll reach. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this protective tape out. And real quick, this is just a foam pipe insulation. It's 1-inch pipe insulation that I got at Ace Hardware. But you can order online, you can get a pool noodle. Let's see if that adhesive is gonna be strong enough to stay together. It's stuck pretty well. So we'll see. If it looks like it's gonna be coming apart in the heat and stuff, I'll just wrap some zip ties around it just to clamp it down. All right, let me go ahead and put this in the truck, load the rods up real quick, see how it looks. These rod holders did come with the bungee ties included. 4-inch bungee ties that came with the rod holders did feel a little bit too tight over the foam, so I ordered some 6-inch bungee ties off of Amazon. I will include the link for those in the description. I am happy with how this one turned out. In my head, this is about what I was picturing, so I am excited to use it. I do have a couple other builds planned, so if you enjoy watching these, be sure to like and subscribe.